Amy Pascal and David Heyman have officially been named as producers on the next James Bond film, according to a Variety article from Tuesday. Pascal is known for her work at Sony and continues to work with Phil Lord and Christopher Miller on different projects such as Spider-Man Noir. Heyman's name ought to be familiar to Harry Potter fans, as he produced all 8 of the original films, and he also is in pre-production on the new series. Both Hollywood executives will produce Bond under their own named production companies and say they are working closely with longtime 007 studio heads Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson. How shaken is our martini with this interesting news?
The biggest thing that gave me pause was Amy Pascal's name. Is she still at Sony? I wanted to look and
She's not with Sony Pictures anymore, I don't think.
Okay, that's what I thought. So, yeah, Amy Pascal's track record at Sony it's spotty. It's got some real big hits, of course. We've got the Spider-Verse movies. We've got Tom, not Hiddleston's Spider-Man, the other one. And then we've got the rest of the Sonyverse, all done under her wing. And the 007 franchise is so beloved to me that I have a lot of concerns about her having any kind of creativity and creative control with a new film. David Heyman kind of balances that out, like those original Harry Potter movies, for all of their not exactly following the books stuff, were good. They were always good. They were always solid. As Harry Potter fans, we loved them, and he's also doing the series, so it's kind of like, okay, you have that continuity there. That makes me more interested in that series. But I just wonder, why Amy Pascal? So is it just because of her box office track record? Like, if you look it all up, of course it's going to look pretty good because she's got a lot of films that did rake in a lot of money. Because she had the Spider-Man character in her house. Like, of course, you're going to make money with Spider-Man. But then there's just all those misses with the villain movies. Like, it just really concerns me. James Bond is such a storied character. It's got such an aesthetic. It's got such a certain feel. The Bond tribute at the Oscars I thought was terrible. I thought it was going to be really cool, and it sucked, in my opinion. And so I'm like, great, is this an omen of things to come? And then you tell me Amy Pascal is helping out, and I'm like, oh no, I don't know about this. So yeah, very mixed feelings at this time. A lot will matter who they cast as Bond. Clearly they're doing a film, not a series, at least to start with. So that's interesting news as well. We weren't really sure which way they were going to go. There's just too many unknowns still for me to feel like this is great. This is great.
So picture this. Amy Pascal walks into the room and she's like, listen, I ran Sony. And they're like, whoa, Sony, like, you made a lot of money, right? And she's like, yeah. She's like, we set up our universe like this. We got a bunch of movies about James Bond that do really well. But then we'll also create a bunch of spin-off movies about James Bond villains with no James Bond in them. What do you think? What do you think?
Thanks, I hate it.
I could totally see some studio heads going for that, though. That seems like an absolute.
They'll all be anti-heroes. They think they're the hero, but they're really the villain.
Remember Jaws? We're gonna give him a show. No.
Well, with a deep character like Jaws, you could pull it off, probably.
Yeah. We'll find that depth.
Yeah. No,
you won't.
Yeah, I have a pretty similar reaction to what's been said so far. I'd say I'm stirred, but not shaken, and this is totally a mixed bag. I kind of had the verbatim reaction to you, Haley. It was like, Amy Pascal's okay. We got David Heyman. At least he's lending some kind of pedigree and some tenure here. And Bond is a very British franchise, and I think you can say the same thing about Harry Potter. So I think that should do a little bit to assuage some of the concerns and the fears here. But I kind of had to check myself. I was like, why am I so against Amy Pascal? And certainly the association with Sony is a big factor. But I always kind of lump her in with Avi Arad. Whenever I hear the name Avi Arad or Amy Pascal, it's kind of like, ugh. don't let those people, touch the creative stuff. All they want to do is merchandise and make money, and they don't know how to do it that well. But I had to go back and do a little research. Apparently, Amy Pascal does something right. And when I looked at her producing credits, she's only started producing movies in 2016. And she's a producer on Venom and all of the Venom films, but she's actually not involved with the other Sonyverse movies, which I found surprising. So I think that does, speak to some cunning or ability that she has to kind of, read the tea leaves and kind of know what's going to be successful, or maybe she's just an opportunist and she's gotten very fortunate with what she's been able to jump on versus not. But all that being said, she's still not a name that gives me a bunch of confidence, but I think I've learned a little bit of a lesson on Amy Pascal. It's like, okay, I'm not going to hold you up at the same, esteem that I do some of my other favorite producers and executives, but maybe I've been a little harsh on Amy Pascal. We'll see.
I mean, she was still the executive at the studio that made those movies. Prove me wrong. I'm happy to be proven wrong.
We'll find out.
Yeah, I don't have really much to take on this, except I just knew that Haley would have a lot to say about anybody taking this role, because this role's been something that's been somewhat interesting in Hollywood, and taken the James Bond and sort of separated it from other types of franchises. And yeah, it's not protected anymore. And these names give me not that I think these names are terrible, but just they are the types of names that was going to franchise the hell out of James Bond. We're going to be getting James Bond everything. We're going to be getting a 006 movie and a 005 movie. We're going to get it all, man. A big connected universe of 00s. And yeah, I mean, I'm not here for it. It could be good. Could be cool. I love a franchise.
I think they have the most unenviable task of finding the new Bond, because that's a decision that you never please anybody with until they're actually on the screen, and then people are like, oh, actually, that was a good idea.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't find any evidence that Amy Pascal was a producer on any of those other Sony movies that we've been talking about, but it is noteworthy that she is still going to be a producer on the upcoming Spider-Man 4, as well as Beyond the Spider-Verse. So I don't know exactly what her relationship with Sony is at this point, but I know they parted ways at some point, like 3 or 4 years ago, and that's why Pascal Pictures became such a thing. But I'll have to do some more research and get back to you.
You just watched a clip from Multiverse News. If you liked it, go to our channel. We got a whole episode that it comes from. So go check that out and hit the like and subscribe. And we got lots of clips you'll enjoy, but also full hour-long episodes of Multiverse News with lots of things that don't even make it to clips. So check us out.
You stay clippy.